going, guys? Xaikoo here. Today we are gonna talk about something which has been out there for a while now. When it first came out, a lot of people didn't think that it was gonna be such a big deal, which it is today. One of the things which defined Apple as a company and showed that Apple has the potential to revolutionize things which we thought could never be out there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, happens to be iPad 12 Pro Max. When Apple first came out with its iPad in 2008, if I'm not wrong, it was one of those things which people saw and they didn't knew what to think about it. I mean, it wasn't exactly a phone and it wasn't exactly a laptop, so people didn't exactly know how to feel about it. Regarding that, Steve Jobs was one asked in an interview why you brought out iPad, to which Steve Jobs gave one of the best answers possible. He simply said, people don't know what they want unless you bring it in front of them. That is what happened with computers, that is what happened with laptops, with phones, everything, and that is how the iPad was born. For me personally, it was an upgrade all the way from iPad 2. I joined my university in 2015. And ever since then, this thing has been by my side. I have taken notes on this thing. I have done my research on this thing. And that, I guess, is what iPad was supposed to be. Or maybe it's just one of the things that we have been using it for. But the point is, it is one of those devices which is there for people who do not exactly want to go for a laptop everywhere they are going. And they probably need something more than what their phone can offer. So in a weird way, the answer to the question, what is iPad, is in the very question of is iPad a computer or is it a phone? Because it is neither computer nor a phone, but is a computer and a phone. Anyway, enough about the iPads. Let's talk about the specific iPad today we are gonna review. The iPad Generation 4 from 2019, 12.9 inches, which as of last month is no longer the latest iPad out there. I miss the day when I had the best iPad. So talking about this iPad right here, this iPad has a A12Z Bionic chip. It is the new brick-shaped design of the iPads, which I love because as much as I love the old iPad I had, I was never a fan of this, what is even this weird shape of the iPad. I always prefer the older, the first ever iPad that was released. I loved how it felt in the hand, and after that, I guess this iPad, the Generation 4 2019 iPad, I guess is what has been feeling that way ever since. Anyway, so for this exact review right here, I'm gonna break this video into 4 different parts. The first part of this review is gonna be what Apple said they are gonna give us with the iPad, basically what was promised. And to answer that, we are gonna go to the second part of the video, which is what we got. Third part of the video is gonna be what 1 year back the market scenario of iPad and tablets were out there. What basically people needed when they were thinking about a tablet. And fourth part is gonna be the verdict. What is the summary of all of it? And that is when I'm gonna grade this iPad based on 2019, not based on 2021. But I will also like to talk about, is this iPad worth it in 2019 when you have M1 chip iPad? So let's start with talking about what they promised, what Apple said this iPad is gonna do in order to maintain the iPad algorithm throughout the platform of tablets, something which iPad initially started. So I don't want to give you the exact numbers and the type of iPad Apple said they are gonna give, the chip number or the memory, the RAM, something which is there, they are just throwing it out, and most of the time it does not make sense. It's just sound fashionable and trendy and all that. I want to give you the exact idea of Apple, what they were thinking when they were bringing this product out. What was their basically motive to bring this iPad out? Why they brought the new iPad? What was the new about the iPad? So you see, in the beginning, as I said, people are always confused on what iPad exactly is, what a tablet exactly is. Is it a laptop? Is it a mobile? And sometimes the answer is right there. It is a laptop and a mobile. But that's the thing. People, when they think of laptop, they think of this very powerful thing, this thing which can do everything done, something which is there when you need it, and that thing will never let you down. They don't think the same about iPad, or they didn't used to think the same about iPad. iPad was one of those things which was good, it was cool, it was a trendy thing. You could be an artist just painting around your iPad and looking cool in a subway, but what was iPad exactly designed for was not something people understood really well, or perhaps neither did Apple. So when they brought this iPad out, when they brought out the iPad 12.9 inches, their main motive was to basically give their consumers something where they would not need a laptop, and they would get everything done in it just like they do it on their phones. You don't have to go any further than to just look at iPad's ad. If you look at the iPad's ad, and this I guess even was a meme back then, there is this lady who sits on her lawn, draws things on iPad, does things on iPad, go across places, does things on her iPad, and make it looks cool. And maybe it is cool, I don't know, I'm not cool. But you see, that is where Apple is giving you an idea of what to expect from this new machine. This is supposed to be a replacement for your tablet. I wasn't sure about it back then. I thought that is where Apple is going, but when they brought the M1 chip on their new iPad, I'm very certain that Apple might be looking as their iPad as one of, MacBook Pros, as one of their mainstream machines. Like what you think of an iMac or MacBook Pro or your MacBook Air, and there is where Apple wants to put iPad on the shelf. If engineers need their MacBook Pros, if filmmakers need their iMacs to edit and all that, they want to give artists and everyone else iPad to work on this and to go forward with this. And I believe that is what the idea of the new iPad Pro was. iPad Pro was supposed to be a replacement for computer for people who are not using their computer intensively and every single time. That is perhaps was the idea behind launching the iPad. But see, ads out there, they could be misleading. They could show us one thing and give us a whole different thing. And when I first saw the iPad trailer, I wasn't sure if they are gonna deliver on what they were saying. So you see, when I was buying this iPad, I planned it in a way where I would have this by the time my exams were over. And certainly when I got this, my exams were completely over and I had this summer break. In the summer break, I do not have to intensively work on my computer anymore. So as an artist, quote unquote, I can use this thing and maybe get an idea of what the real world artists out there would be getting out of this tablet. Of course, I'm no artist, I suck at art. I've worked on this thing so intensively in a mindset of someone who's not an engineer, who's just using it for their daily purpose and working on the iPad, watching Netflix, watching Amazon Prime, doing YouTube, doing my various typing and my note taking, and just using it as anyone else would use. Besides Minecraft. Minecraft is not good in iPad. So after more than a month of working on this iPad, I can tell you that this iPad is worth it. If you are someone who has been using iPad throughout their lifetime, who's someone who feels more comfortable working on a tablet than a phone or a machine, this thing will give you 100% of what it was promised. I can easily see this thing replacing someone's computer, someone's laptop, and be their main go-to platform for connecting to the world and doing the things they would do on a computer on a daily basis. So does the ad hold up? Is it something which you can take anywhere, which you can work on maybe a garden out there and feel and give the best output you can? Yes, this thing can do that. Being a programmer, was able to get apps where I can program on my iPad, compile code on my iPad, and be done with it. I even took this thing to a garden to make sure that it works in our garden and I can draw things on it, and it worked. So yes, what Apple said, what Apple planned, what Apple had the idea going for this iPad, they did pretty much very good work in it. They were able to manifest that idea and bring this product out. Pretty good deal there. But the thing is, there have already been very powerful tablets. If I was someone who's going to the nearby Best Buy and my thought of the day is to get a tablet, should I have gone for my iPad or should I have gone for my any other tablet which are out there? I mean, if I'm not wrong, there were Samsung tablets out there, there were Microsoft tablets out there were tablets from different gaming companies, there were tablets from small companies like Huawei. There were even tablets from companies like Lenovo, like Amazon, and various different companies, and they were way cheaper than what you would have paid for the iPad. So why would I have gone for the iPad when I could have easily gone for any other tablets out there? What offer was Apple giving me that was different? And this is where we get into a section which is very sensitive, because people are very, very protective of their company. There are fanboys of Apple, there are fanboys of Android, Samsung, and various different places. I was an Apple fanboy back then. But the thing is, there needs to be an answer of what Apple has that maybe Android doesn't have, and what Android have which Apple maybe doesn't have. And that is where the main question lies. If I am paying 4 times the amount of what I would have paid for any other tablet, what extra am I getting from Apple? And the answer is nothing. That's the sad, sad truth. Besides a user-friendly computer and maybe a little more reliable system, there is nothing more that Apple can offer me right here. Their note-making system is something which has been out there for a while. Even Steve Jobs made fun of stylus back in 2009. And yet here iPad is copying Microsoft Surface Pro for their new iPad. And there is nothing which is in this iPad which I could not find in any other tablet out there. In fact, there are things on other tablets which I could not find on this iPad. So besides the fanboys and the fangirls, why people go for these machines? Why people go for Apple and not other companies? I have said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. It is because of their user friendliness. Their products are simple to use. Their products are easy to use. Apple always ensures that in the market, their product is the easiest product to use, and they are simple in a way where you don't have to think 5 times to make a decision or to press a key. We all have seen Samsung doing weird things every now and then. Maybe your phone gets stuck, maybe your phone gets hanged, maybe it isn't turning on. There are various complications in Android and Windows computer which Apple simply does not have on their everyday basis. I'm not saying it does not have it ever, but I'm saying it does not have it as much as their competitors have. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only reason why, even while having such good products out there in the market at such good cost, that people go for their Apple products rather than any other products. Another thing which Apple gives is an ecosystem. If you have an Apple ecosystem like a tablet, a phone, a laptop, an iMac, your smartphone, your earphones, your Apple Watch, you kind of have an Apple ecosystem. Things communicate with each other in a very easy way, and you do not have to go to 10 different locations to find your record. You can just go into your iClouds or Apple settings anywhere, and you can easily find anything which is related to other product or this product or anything like it. You can FaceTime on one device and it will call on other devices. You can message on one device, it will go on other devices. It is very easy for a person to have an Apple ecosystem and live a comfortable life. I don't know. So what is the verdict? Mr. Xaikoo, where does this iPad stand? We get it, it does promise on what it delivered. It does not have the best working system out there compared to the other Android or other tablets. It is definitely good in their eco-friendliness. It is definitely good in their user-friendliness and Apple ecosystem. But what is the verdict? Is it worth it? Should you have gone for the iPad Gen 4 2019 in 2019 or 2020? Did I did the right decision of going for this iPad and not waiting for the M1? And the answer to that is yes. Me being a computer science student needed something which is out there, which does not get stuck on me every now and then, and I needed to take notes in this thing. So I went for the iPad specifically because the way this thing works, no other tablet in the world works. As I said, I have used a lot of different Apple products. So for me, working on an Apple product is way more easier than changing to an Android phone right now or maybe Android tablet and work on that. I already know how Apple works and it is much more easier for me to work in this. Would it have been a mistake if I would have gone for an Android tablet? I don't think so. I have not used an Android tablet for a while now. I think it was in 2013 when I last used it, and ever since then I have been on an Apple tablet. So definitely I don't think it would have been a mistake, but for me to learn it, to have used it for a while and then be able to be comfortable with it would have taken some time, where when I got the iPad I could just use it. I already know how this works and it's out of the box ready to go. My iCloud was already up, so when I imported everything on it, it took no time to be ready and on the go basically. But is it worth it in 2021 when the new M1 iPad is out there? And well, I guess the answer to it would be, what is your budget? If you can go for the best iPad out there, you should go for the M1. It's way faster, even though I don't think it matters anymore, because at one place you have A12Z and at one place you have M1. But I don't know, maybe just go for the newer, the better iPad. But if you do not have the best budget, this iPad gets absolutely everything done. There is nothing which this iPad could not do which any other tablet can do. In fact, as I said, the user friendliness of this thing is really good. It's pretty good. So maybe just go for this iPad if you do not have the budget, or if you want to save money for something else. This thing can get everything done. So in 2021, after having the new M1 released, I cannot rate this based on what the new generation of tablets have there to offer. So I'm gonna rate it on itself, not something which is for 2021 maybe, but something which was released for 2019 and 2020 and is supposed to remain in that area. And in that, I'm gonna give it a score of a solid 9.9 out of 10. There is just this small thing I hate about Apple, that when you buy your iPad, you're just getting the iPad and everything else, the accessories of iPad is super costly. I cannot give it a 10 out of 10. That 0.1 stings me every now and then, and something I do not appreciate of Apple. But that's it. This thing is pretty good. This thing in 2019 and 2020 was amazing for people out there to use it, be a tablet person. That is it for this week, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe, and stay healthy. Bye.